I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
It was a sunny day that Sunny H won't soon forget, but for all the wrong reasons. Greg Gutfeld didn't just poke fun at her latest controversy, he ripped it apart with precision, turning her defense into a public spectacle. The result? A meltdown so cringeworthy, it's the kind of train wreck you can't help but watch, second after second. But what sparked this fiery clash? It all began with Sunny's jaw-dropping comments about her family's deep, shocking historical ties, and the way she tried to twist the narrative left everyone, including her co-hosts, the live audience, and the entire internet, shaking their heads in disbelief. Before we dive into the juicy chaos, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you won't want to miss how Gutfeld absolutely demolished Sunny's carefully crafted story live on air. Got it? Let's get into it. Sunny H, no stranger to calling out America's dark past, found herself in an all-too uncomfortable situation during a segment on PBS's Finding Your Roots. There, she uncovered a bombshell about her ancestors. Turns out they weren't just victims of oppression as she'd always believed. No, they were slave owners. Yes, you heard that right. Her third great-grandfather owned at least one person. The moment of realization was etched on her face. Shock, disbelief, and something much harder to hide. And that's when Greg Gutfeld stepped in, without missing a beat. Known for his sharp wit and unapologetic style, he seized the opportunity to point out the stark irony. Sunny has made a name for herself criticizing America's past, often linking systemic racism to just about every issue. Yet this newfound revelation about her own family seemed to directly contradict everything she'd stood for. Gutfeld wasn't about to let her off the hook. He called out the hypocrisy in the most direct, no-holds-barred way possible.
On the record, to let everyone know that I am very much against slavery. Okay. Very brave to say that on this panel. Karma, definitely. I mean, it's one thing. It's going to be so awkward on new episodes of The View when she tries to pull the race card.
Yes.
And then she's like, America is racist. And then they're like, yeah, they might be racist, but they're not like slave owner racist. like somebody that we...
That's so true.
You know?
She could have maybe done better. Okay, here's the thing. One thing, and I would have even actually not give her any, is she said, well, I guess that's just what they did back then.
Yeah.
She should have followed that up with saying something along the lines of, and I understand that that's a departure from the way I've talked about this before. That was to me, the one thing that was missing.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause it's okay, now that you have this information, have you had any personal growth? You think about things differently. You have to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Because when you're presented with information, it's okay to change your mind. It's good to change your mind, but you should acknowledge that.
If she is shaming descendants of this, will she continue to do that when she is now one of them, Dana? And it is funny. She's so wrapped up in identity, and she had no idea who she was.
Well, now we understand why she always makes Whoopi get the coffee. I don't know. That's not true.
That's not true.
But you think about things that she said and how offensive they are.
Yeah.
Well, karma.
Yeah.
Gutfeld didn't waste a second calling out Sunny's reaction. He mocked her surprise with a biting question. Now that you know your family's history, are you going to rethink your constant lectures on systemic racism and oppression? With that, he zeroed in on the glaring hypocrisy in her stance. Sunny often criticizes others for historical wrongs, but when it came to her own ancestors' involvement in slavery, she downplayed it, chalking it up to just what they did back then. According to Gutfeld, that was a textbook example of double standards. Sunny may talk about America's history of racism all day, but when it came to acknowledging the role her own family played in that history, suddenly it was all just a fact of life, as Gutfeld pointed out. His sharp critique didn't just land, it struck a nerve with viewers, who took to social media to call out the glaring contradiction in her words. Many saw Sunny's reaction as not just surprising, but downright out of touch. Gutfeld didn't let up. He highlighted the irony of someone so fixated on identity politics, not even knowing the full extent of her own family's history. Then, in a playful jab, he quipped, "Now we know why she makes Whoopi get the coffee," making light of the situation, but also underlining a bigger point. The real issue here wasn't just Sunny's reaction. It was how her obsession with race and identity often derails meaningful, honest conversations. This wasn't just a moment of criticism, it was a reality check. But judging by how she reacted, it seemed like Sunny wasn't ready for that kind of introspection. As expected, the internet exploded. Clips of Greg Gutfeld's fiery takedown went viral within hours, with fans cheering him on for calling out what many were already thinking. One user tweeted, "Sunny learning her ancestors were slaveholders? Now that's a plot twist we didn't see coming." But Gutfeld's reaction? Pure gold. Another chimed in, "Sunny's hypocrisy finally caught up to her, and Gutfeld nailed it." Meanwhile, Sunny's defenders jumped to her aid, claiming the backlash was unfair, arguing that she was merely processing new information. But for many, it was her dismissive tone and refusal to take responsibility that only fueled the fire. Gutfeld's response wasn't just about Sunny. It was a broader commentary on how some individuals weaponize identity politics while conveniently ignoring their own contradictions. Her family's history serves as a stark reminder that none of us can escape the complexities of the past. But the real issue here isn't just discovering uncomfortable truths, it's how we confront them. And for Sunny, it seemed the answer was deflection, a tactic that didn't sit well with Gutfeld or his audience. This wasn't just another viral moment. It was a flashpoint in a larger cultural debate. Gutfeld's sharp critique of her reaction touched a nerve, sparking intense discussions about accountability, self-awareness, and the role of identity politics in modern discourse. His words resonated with viewers who felt that too often, public figures use identity as a shield, deflecting real conversations about their own history and contradictions. So, what do you think? Was Gutfeld right to call out Sunny, or did she handle the revelation appropriately? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. And before you leave, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more bold takes, fiery debates, and viral moments.